The sun has not yet risen, and you can already hear the voices outside, knocking on the door, screaming, the sound of torches burning in the darkness. You did nothing. You know you did nothing. But that no longer matters. Because someone you know, perhaps a neighbor, perhaps someone from your own family, whispered your name to the wrong people, and now they have come for you. Before you can understand what is about to happen to you, you need to understand where you are. We are in Europe. It could be 1450. It could be 1550. The exact year doesn't change much. You live in a small village with dirt roads where everyone knows everyone and where everyone is afraid. Afraid of drought, afraid of disease, afraid of the winter that won't leave, afraid of the baby born dead, afraid of the cow that suddenly stopped giving milk. When something bad happens, and something bad always happens, people need an explanation. And the easiest explanation, the most convenient one, the one everyone accepts without question, is you, or someone like you, the old woman who lives alone by the river, the woman who knows herbs and heals wounds, the one who didn't go to mass on Sunday, the one with the strange eyes, the one who argued with her neighbor 3 days before his son fell ill. Anyone can be chosen. Anyone. You receive no warning. There is no process. There is no chance to explain yourself beforehand. Someone goes to the authorities. It could be the priest. It could be the inquisitor passing through town. It could simply be the most influential man in the village and says, that person made a pact with the devil. And that's it. From that moment on, you are no longer a person. You become a suspect. What is terrifying about all of this is that the accusation alone is already a partial condemnation. Because no one accuses an innocent person, right? That is what people think. That is what they genuinely believe. So when they come for you and drag you through the village while your neighbors watch in silence, some with pity, most too afraid to defend you and end up being next, you have already lost. Even before you say a single word, they put you in a dark place. It could be a basement. It could be a stone cell. It could be a simple locked room in a house. It doesn't matter where. What matters is what comes next. You stay there for days, sometimes weeks, without proper sleep, with little food, with the cold seeping into your bones. And this is no accident. This is strategy. They know that a person who is exhausted, hungry, frightened, and disoriented is a person who is easy to manipulate. Sometimes they keep you awake for entire days on end. People who go without sleep for more than 3 or 4 days begin to see things, hear voices, lose their grip on what is real. You start to doubt yourself. Did I do something without realizing it? Did the devil truly visit me while I slept? And that is exactly what they want. When they finally take you in to be questioned, you walk into a room and see a man holding a book. This book is real. Its name is the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches. It was written in 1486 and became a kind of official manual for hunting and judging people accused of witchcraft. It is filled with questions, filled with techniques, filled with absolute certainties about how to identify a witch, and the questions they ask you have no right answer. Did you fly through the air at night? If you say no, they say you are lying. If you say yes, you have just condemned yourself. Do you have the devil's mark somewhere on your body? They will search, and they will find something, a mole, a wart, an old scar. Anything that looks different becomes evidence. Do you know any other witches in the village? This is the most dangerous question of all, because if you deny it, they don't believe you. And if you give in, if you, after days without sleep, in pain, in fear, speak any name at all just to make it stop, you have just destroyed the life of another innocent person, and they will go through everything you are going through right now. This is the part that no one can truly prepare you to hear. Torture was legal. It was official. It was part of the process. There were instruments with names. The strapado, where they tied your arms behind your back and suspended you by your wrists until your shoulders dislocated. The iron boot, which crushed your feet and legs until the bones broke. Needles driven all over your body in search of the devil's mark, a spot where you feel no pain, which they use as definitive proof. There's a detail that seems impossible, but is real. In some places, torture could be repeated as many times as the inquisitor deemed necessary. But there was one rule. You could not be tortured by the same method twice in a row. So they simply switched methods and continued. You hold on for as long as you can, and then you confess. Not because you're guilty, but because confessing is the only thing that makes the pain stop. And when you confess, they are satisfied because now they have what they needed. The trial is not meant to uncover the truth. The trial is meant to confirm what has already been decided. You enter the room, still wounded, still exhausted, and you hear a list of crimes you supposedly committed. A pact with the devil, nightly journeys to the witch's sabbath, spells that killed the neighbor's cattle, curses that caused illness, and you look around hoping someone will question it, that someone will say, but where is the evidence? No one says a word. Your confession, the confession you gave under torture with no choice, with your body broken, is the evidence. And there is one more cruelty that few people notice. In many trials, if you were to recant afterward, if you were to look at that man with the book and say, I lied, I confessed because of the pain, that was considered further proof that you were under the devil's influence. There was no way out. The trap had been shut from the moment your name was whispered. The most common sentence was not the stake. That is what most people don't know. The majority of people were hanged, or beheaded, or died simply in prison before ever being tried, due to the conditions or the injuries from torture. The stake was reserved for cases considered especially severe, or for when the authorities wanted to make a public spectacle. And it truly was a spectacle. The execution took place in the town's central square. People came to watch. Children watched. It was considered an act of purification for the community. You climbed up to that place and looked out at the faces you recognized. The baker who bought your herbs, the woman who had been your neighbor for 20 years, the man you helped harvest wheat last autumn. And they looked back at you. Some with fear, some with relief. Some, and this is what breaks the heart, with genuine conviction that they were doing the right thing. Here's something you need to carry with you. Between 1450 and 1750, it is estimated that between 40,000 and 60,000 people were executed on charges of witchcraft in Europe. About 75% were women. Many were widows, women who lived alone, women who had some knowledge of medicinal plants, what we would call home remedies today, women who had argued with someone powerful, women who simply had something someone else wanted, land, a house, an inheritance. But there were also men, children, entire families destroyed because a single member was accused and under torture gave the names of the others. There were villages in Germany where more than half the population was executed within the span of just a few years. Think about that. Half of an entire village. Neighbors accusing neighbors, children accusing mothers, women accusing husbands to save their own children. The terror fed on itself. The door to your cell opens one last time. And as you walk, on legs that can barely hold you, you try to remember your family's faces. The sound of the river near your home. The smell of the bread you used to bake on winter mornings. You did nothing. And no one in that square, in that courtroom, in that village, I will write that down anywhere. Because history is written by those who survive. And you will not survive. What happened to thousands of real people in medieval Europe was not the superstition of ignorant peasants. It was a system, organized, legitimized by law, sanctioned by religion, fueled by collective fear and individual greed. And the most terrifying thing of all is not what they did. It is how easily the people around them let it happen. Because it was easier to believe in the witch than to question the system. Because it was safer to stay silent than to defend the innocent. Because fear, when carefully cultivated, makes ordinary people do things they never imagined themselves capable of. That is what the Middle Ages has to teach you. Thank you for watching another video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next one.